I feel like Kenya police are left to their own devices. When I meet a lot of people, they ask me, how do you take care of your mental health? No, because of the kind of cases I see every day. How do I take care of my staff's mental health? But the thing is, who asks police who takes care of their mental health? Huyu mtu ameamka asubuhi ameenda ameokota mwili amepeleka mocha. Huyu mtu ameshutu mtu. Huyu mtu amefanya. Huyu mtu amekuja. Unafikiri ukikuja hapo umetandikwa na kufilia anything?
Yeah, ashona watu. Ikonini. Episode 371. Kusema like, subscribe, hit the notification button, tell a friend to tell a friend. Yeah, na leo tuko na NJERI Migwi. NJERI Migwi is the founder of Usikimie Foundation. Yes. And this is a foundation that focuses on gender-based and sexual violence. Yeah. And kutrai kuambia watu msikimie jo. Unajua this is like I'd say, is it a pandemic hapa Kenya?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. And so I want us to talk about hizo na pia kubonga juu the political situation hapa Kenya because nimecheke like since I don't know if that's the first time really noticed, but since the Gen Z protest I've seen that you are very politically involved in everything that's happening. Sindio?
Yes.
Yeah. But gender-based violence hapa Kenya, how bad is it?
Kenya National Bureau of Statistics in 2023 gave a report. And in that report, they said 1 in 3 women aged between 15 to 50 will go through an incident of gender-based violence.
Okay.
I think that's alarming by itself. And for men, we're looking at 1 into 100. That's horrifying as it is. Yeah.
And there's a certain connection that I normally put, and I don't know how true that is, but I would normally say that a lot of men who grew up seeing their mothers getting beaten up think that that's normal.
Yes. A lot of you will find that in violence, a lot of people who watch violence coming up normalize it. That is their way of resolving the situation. So you'll find somebody is very, very keen to stay as far away from violence because they don't want to repeat it, because it affected them directly. But most of them also become perpetrators of the same. Because hiyo ndio njia tunaweza suluhisha. Si ukikataa kunisikiza mimi naweza kuchapa mabari. Si niliona madhi akipigwa mabari. Si niliona madhi akipigwa ngumi. So you find that the same cycle continues.
I also think for us as men is a lot of us, I don't know, I wouldn't say all of us, but waga kuna there's a way tumeweka mothers wetu. So I remember like a lot of fights would start in school because mse insult someone's mom. Like buda umesema nini juu ya madhangu?
Kana na madhangu.
Yeah. So this person who's put their mother up there, akiona madhake akipigwa na budake, start feeling if my perfect mother can be beaten, who can't be beaten? I don't know if that makes sense.
And it make a lot of sense. Because ukiambia mtu kuhusu madhake, si unaonanga hiyo reaction.
Yeah.
Unaona? But people are very willing to do something else to other people's mothers, just not their mother. Yeah, so I've never understood. So it's very easy to beat somebody else's daughter because hakuna consequences.
But Nini, like from your own like personal experience, because of course you went through a very horrifying experience. Sasa yako, how has that affected relationship between Buddha na watoi? Because normally the way I talk about it is, especially for sons, there are things that sons never forget. So I'm like, growing up, unaona, kuna msoniambiaga, like ajai forgive budake because of what the father used to do to the mother. Nacheki. So hii situation yako, like even, do they know why you started Usikimie Foundation?
For me, in actuality, my situation did not really lead me into making Usikimie.
Oh, okay.
The thing is, for me in 2017, after I left my marriage, I worked so much on myself because I was so hurt. Because this is somebody I met when I was 15, fell in love, been with them for a very long time. Obviously, I wanted my marriage to work. And when it ended, I was completely devastated. I remember nilikuwa hata siku. You know, you walk up, yes, I'm the one who walked away, but walking away from somebody you've known since you are a teenager, all the way into your adulthood, I hadn't even ever dated someone else. So for 15 years, I was with this man. alone. So unaweza imagine how devastated I was. So I worked around myself. Unajua ile therapy, working on healing myself, because I did not want to become bitter. Because I know some of these things, if you don't work on yourself, you become a very bitter person. So the one thing I was working around was not to be bitter. I wanted to be a better mother to my kids. I didn't want to put my heart on the kids. Unaona, alafu kawaida saa zingine you are with somebody and then unadhani atakuwa present father atamkiachana. So one of the things he did is he was not. We had 3 years of back and forth, koti nini. Then I was given custody of the kids, and he was supposed to come pick them up on the weekends and things around that. But that one ikenda ikikatia ikififia. So I did not want to become that person. So I worked around myself. And so in 2017, after I really realized how much work I had put in myself, right? Because the marriage ended in 2012. I was like, see, I can tell other women how to. Oh, okay. We come together, we get a therapist, we do group therapy together, we heal together. And we did that in 2017. I had a group called Survivors Anonymous, 2017, 2018. 2019, what triggered me was the death of Dr. Ivy Wangeshi.
Okay.
I met with a friend of mine called Stella Kachina, who is my co-founder. And I was like, I can't believe this. Because what I was seeing on Twitter, on Facebook was crazy. People were making jokes.
Oh, you're talking about the girl
Eldoret.
Moi University.
Yes. In my entire life, I had never thought or could conceptualize that somebody is dead and people are doing katashoka memes. People are saying alikula fare. I hope everybody knows that kukula fare ilianzanga na kifo ya Dr. Ivy Wangeshi.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes, because people are like, alitumiwa pesa na huo mjamaa kakula. So alikula lunch, alikula fare, sijui nini. You know, all those things. And I was like, this girl was alikatakatwa. She was brutally murdered publicly. And you have the audacity to make jokes. I was like, let me do an online platform. Maybe people don't understand the impact of gender-based violence. Maybe I'm the person who's seeing this from an angle that is different. So maybe the best thing I can do is start an online platform kufundisha watu. Do you know what gender-based violence is? And how do we, work around it? Why is this not something we make jokes about? So that was my first actual experience on social media. And I think that is the same year we did a very big march. The first big total shutdown march about femicide was in 2019, because that year also, the number of women who are being killed was a lot. And when I say femicide, I need people to recognize, we are not saying women don't get killed. We are saying that there are parameters in which we look at when women are killed that we call it femicide. So femicide seti sasa ulienda ukagongwa na gari, we are calling it femicide. Haukuenda na huko wezi wakakam kwa nyumba yako wakakushoot, tutaita femicide. Femicide is the intentional killing of women due to their gender. And it follows a few things, like unaonanga dem amekatakatwa na either somebody they were in love with, either somebody they were in an intimate relationship with, or you can see their actual femicides, like for example, you are killed because of refusing, say something like FGM. Unaona, that is also femicide.
Yes.
Unaona, so femicide work, there are parameters in which we look at. That is when we say we identify a murder as femicide. Even the disposing of bodies, the way to women being dumped everywhere, some organs missing, the mutilation of it all, that is also considered femicide. There are countries in which women are killed because, for example, I'm a Muslim, right, and I go ahead and get married to a Christian. That is that killing.
Yes.
Or because they think their sister has had sex, that honor killing, that is intentional killing of that woman because of her gender. So I need people to start recognizing when we say femicide, it's not just homicide. Homicide has its markers. Mimi na wewe, we are business rivals. We could both be women. I send somebody to kill you, or we could be a man and you send somebody to kill me. That's homicide. But femicide has very, very important markers that now we sign in and we say, that's femicide. Yeah,
because vile umesema hivyo, I've spoken, I think I spoke about this last week. I was talking about the way the situation hapa Kenya imekaa kuwa rough sana, and I talked about historia do, and I was telling people that if you can't spend money on a girl and if she says no to you, usi walk away bila kuwa hurt, don't spend that money. There are a lot of women out here who are ready to date you without you spending money on them. So the minute that umeamua because you spent 10,000 shillings utachukua axe utoke nayo Meru ukienda LD, alafu a few people watakuwa like ulikula fair. Niko like we mwenyewe, I also feel like I always say that if you don't love yourself hauwezi penda mtu.
Huwezi.
Kama uko ready kudedishana inamaanisha ujipendi kuzunaenda jela, and there's nothing more dehumanizing than being caged like an animal. That means you don't love yourself.
Yep.
And if you're not ready to love yourself, unapenda mtu mwingine kwa nini? Nacheki. Afu we put this thing even nili call out like a certain journalist, sikuita jina yake, but kwa one of the things that happened last week, kuna journalist alikuwa anasema kitu kama, and the police are trying to find out if this guy used to send her money. And I'm like, that makes no sense.
One of the things we want to do as an organization, as Usikimia, is to do a sensitivity training in how femicide and gender-based violence is actually looked at. Either they sensationalize it or they ignore it.
Yeah.
Unaona, kama udema amekufa leo, alikufa juzi, huyu wa Mount Kenya University.
Yes.
If you saw vile wameieka, walisema alijua huo mjamaa for 2 weeks. So in my head I was like, alafu ndio akamuua. In my head I was like, kwani kuna time limit ya how long you're supposed to know somebody before they kill you? I can know you today.
Yeah.
And you kill me. Neza meet now no niwe. I mean, we need to start being honest.
Wamezajua na 50 years.
Wewe na wife yako, see, there was a day you were strangers.
Yeah.
See, you met on a day. If you wanted to kill that person, you'd kill them. How are we going to meet people and we don't know their intentions towards us? So we need to stop saying, alimjua wiki mbili, alimjua mwezi moja, alimjua 1 year. We don't know. We don't know. We don't know what is the motive that makes people kill people. Actually, if you look a lot, some of the killings that are never spoken about are sex workers. Do you know how many of them are killed in the line of their work? We don't talk about it, but when we talk to
like
sex...
a worldwide...
Yes. But here in Kenya, like last month, 3 of them were killed. Nobody talked about it. They're not even in the list of the women sometimes we count. It's just that sometimes I work with these groups. And so they tell me, NJERI, we are being killed. Tunauliwa. Unapata mtu alienda na mtu akamuua. Wakirudi kuja kucheki dem, aliuliwa kwa room. And these things are never even talked about. Because in Kenya, of course, we view sex work as lesser than. And that's why some of these women are killed. You know? But, you know, we don't want to talk about it. But the fact that they are sex workers means that there's a demand for that work. And nobody protects these women. Right?
You're targeted.
They are very much targeted. So probably somebody alienda kaule sex worker, ndio akakuja kawademo yenyewe. Unaona, alijua can get away with it. Right? So all these things, we look at them. Even the killing of sex workers is considered femicide. Because somebody intentionally targeted them. Knowing nitakuja, nikuambia kuja, tuende nawe kwa room, I kill you.
Yeah, watu wako na nini. So I think hiyo nini, hata to say, kwa mtu anashindwa nini gani za tafuta kwa iko nini, tuko nimeita ongoing murders, killings and abductions in Kenya right now. So kulikuwa na hiyo aspect ya kutry kubring up do. Nikaa tunaambia madem, sikule do juu ya whatever. And I think anyone who yuko ready kuua mtu si juu ya do. Inakuwaga like it's either hiyo wameji nini, cause even talking about the honor killings hizo nazionaga mostly Pakistan.
Yes.
Ile kulikuwa na dem, kuna dem ashai post on Instagram na akadedishwa juu alipost I think akidance, alafu kuna vile part of her hair ikaonekana akadedishwa.
Unakumbuka juzi like 3 or 4 months ago kuna dem TikTok alitoa hijab kwa TikTok yake. Hijab yake ikafika hapa. Si brother zake walimtandika wao, ni dem Kenya. The next time we saw her on TikTok, she had been beaten black and blue. Yeah. Brother zake walimchapa. Kwa nini? Walimchapa juu, how dare you show your hair? Na wakamuita malaya. Simply for that. So we have a lot of issues. So we have so many problems. Hiyo ya story ya do, mimi usema hiyo ni uongo. By the time nimetoka kwangu nikakuja hapa Mwafrika, there's money I spent. I spent money on fuel. I spent money to look good. I put on perfume. I put on oils. I looked good. Money moves everything.
Yes.
Ni watu wangapi wanatokanga juu nimekuita nikakwambia Mwafrika tuende tukachape ka deal. Si utatoka kwa nyumba yako? Si tutaenda to meet? Can we stop saying it's about money? I remember, sijui kama unaweza kumbuka kesi za Matara, they're still in court. and I was talking to some of the survivors and the victims.
Yes, is that?
Matara is the one mwenye
ule aliwanga nani? Sister Kanyari. Scarlett.
Yes.
Na akazikwa very fast.
Now, did you know Matara has ongoing blackmail cases against women?
Yeah, I was doing some background check on the guy. Yeah, and he used to like allure women and then
record, sindio?
Akifika anaitisha phone. And then maybe anatumia iron box.
Anything. Yeah. He has blackmail cases against so many women. And he knew which women to target. He knew kona ka job, ka boutique, ka nini. He comes in like a very well spoken. All of them, one thing they'll tell you, well spoken. Jamana drive. Jamana kafiti. So anakutarget. Anakupeleka dinner. Umesikia anakupeleka dinner? Anaenda very nice. Anakufikisha, anakuambia si nimekufikisha, let me walk you to the door. Mukifika kwa hiyo mlango, it's over for you. Anaingia na wewe, anakuambia can I use your bathroom or some excuse, but majority of it was can I use your bathroom. Akishaingia kwa hiyo nyumba, atakurip, both vaginally and anally, alafu atakuona war. One of the girls we rescued, she was almost dead. Anasemanga alikuwa anaangalia dirisha, anaona tu watu wakipita. But she didn't even have the energy to scream. And then he robs you. Anakuibia ATM cards, amechukua mpaka nini, pin number, anakuchukulia mpaka pesa yote iliko kwa M-Pesa, whatever anaweza toa kwa hiyo ATM yako, anatoa. And some of these women, that's how he ended up killing Scarlett. Because most of these women, and these are women who cannot even come out in public.
Alafu, I think when vile umesema hivyo, tuna need kuremind watu, there's something you said hapo mbele kabisa. Ile like even when we met our wives, they were strangers.
Yes.
So we need to stop hii upuzi ya unaniniaje mtu hujui. I think naturally as human, vile si uishi na ile trust ya the next person. This is the reason why you'll order food and you'll eat the food and you don't know who cooked it. Otherwise ungeogopa inaenda kupoisoniwa. That means you'd never eat outside.
Yes.
So kuna that certain level of, so amadem wakidil na umse, they're assuming he's good, he is a normal human, he's not a psychopath. Then it ends up being a psychopath. Nacheki, mtu ana threaten mtu sijui na nini. So yuko jela saizi ama?
Matara ko jela waiting for sentencing ya kesi ya Scarlett. But Matara akona hizo kesi zote za blackmail. Some of which we even have the documentation. Unaona mtu alienda hosi, ukisoma the medical report, we mwenyewe unashtuka. Unamuuliza, are you willing to go in, tuende mbele tuongeze hizi charges. Mtu ile uoga ameingia, ayuko willing. Anaona ni kama Matara atatoka jela amkute amue. That is the amount of fear that ameingrain. So we had 4 cases. They actually, when BBC was doing that, walitutumia to suicide and psychosocial support. But all those 4 women are thoroughly terrified. None of them is willing.
Right now he's at committee. He's at committee.
He's in committee. Hajatoka bado. There's a time I had to look because he was sending threats from when he was in committee. He has a list of all these women that he's blackmailed. And all of them, wengine hata wamehama. They are fearful. Wengine hata wametoka out of Nairobi and started life in some other towns. Because mtu anakublackmailaje akiwa committee.
Alafu nini, there's a theory that I've normally heard ikikam to gender-based violence. I always feel like there needs to be a 100% female unit that deals with this, because I feel like that would instill fear in more men than men dealing with that. Because Monaga, and maybe you might correct me, but Monaga, it's easier for a man to justify what another man did to a woman than for a woman to justify what a man. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. It does. However, we are looking at our police. Police ni police too.
Or hata madem.
Police ni police. That's all I'll say about that, because these people, and I hate to say this, but this is the truth. I feel like Kenya police are left to their own devices. When I meet a lot of people, they ask me, how do you take care of your mental health? No, because of the kind of cases I see every day. How do I take care of my staff's mental health? But the thing is, who asks police who takes care of their mental health? Huyu mtu ameamka asubuhi, ameenda ameokota mwili, amepeleka mocha. Huyu mtu ameshutu mtu. Huyu mtu amefanya. Huyu mtu amekuja. Unafikiri ukikuja hapo umetandikwa na kufilia anything?
Yeah, ashaona wasi.
Ameona wasi. Si atakwambia uende mrudiane na bwana yako? unaweza kuunderstand. Umerepiwa, mtu atakushow enda kuja na rapist. Because they've seen such bad things. They are immune. We need a gender sensitive trauma informed unit. That hata wewe kama mwanaume ukiwa kwa police station hawata kuchekelea. That hata wewe ukienda kuripoti kesi ya GBV hawata kushow wewe rudi kwa bwanako. Unaona? Yani 100% well compensated. Because cases za GBV, part of the neglect is because hazina do. Hazina ukirepiwa wewe unaenda kuonga polisi. Unaona? Unapata kasa hii tuko, and I'm being honest, tuko na demako ina coma Kenyatta. The police have refused to take the case. Wanasema she has to wake up from the coma to go and report. This woman was found in her workplace, beaten almost to death. I can actually show you pictures. Yes.
Workplace?
Uko sowe. Saloon. Gang raped. Okay? Beaten. She's, as I said, she's in a coma. Her skull is fractured. Very thoroughly. Tumeenda kureport. Unaona? Polisi wanasema hatuwezi report on her behalf. Where is the witness statement? Witness ako wapi? Kenyatta, fighting for her life. So tell me, do you start to see a problem?
Yes. I'm seeing a problem, but I'm seeing also a problem of humanity, because I will say this. I understand people are not well paid, yes? But maybe nakwaga insensitive, and I will say maybe nabonga from a point of privilege, but why not just quit? Because this is a case where if someone has been beaten and they're unconscious, of course they can't write a witness statement. At some point you have to ask yourself, why did I become a cop? At least have 1 or 2 cases which you can handle without being bribed, without being alafu kukwe na zile kesi nasema tu like zile unaweza do, I don't know, like it's really sad ukisikia kitu kama hiyo.
Because this year is unajua pia hiyo ni that's ni attempted murder. Iko na so many counts. Kuna breaking and entry, kuna whatever. If DCI kitaka kujua ni nani,
wanaweza
hata izimaliza 12 hours.
Awaizi?
Sini kuping tu phone.
Yeah.
If I show you the state of that woman, then uende pale kwa polisi usikie the things they're telling you. It's disgusting. Unaona, and she may die. Unaona, there's a case we had also. I remember this girl was employed. Najua jumi ndio nilimzika. She was employed as a house. She had just come into Nairobi, employed as a housewife in a well-to-do family, military senior. The man wanted her, desired her, couldn't. The girl refused. The next thing, he kidnapped the girl. I don't know whether you saw that case. Kidnapped the girl. They went and gang raped her, beat her so badly, broke her spine. Then threw her body, inaitwa nini, lunga slums hapo karibu na gunia ikuje kwa train. Unaona train ikuje Mkanya. That's how they had planned to dispose. Fortunately, watu waliona gunia ikirusha hapo kwa railway. Juu ni karibu na slums, wakaenda kuangalia, wanapata ni mdem.
She was dead by this time.
She wasn't dead. Cynthia, and I call her name. I speak her name because that death is so personal to me. Tukapigiwa simu, tukakimbiza mdem, hosi. Padi tulimpeleka, she was so badly off. Wakatusaidia na ambulance, tukamkimbiza mpaka Kenyatta. Cynthia stayed 4 more days, waiting for her mom. And I remember there were people in that ward that were kept on telling us, msichana kona uchungu, jamani halali. Her mom came, we finally managed to locate her mom. Her mom came all the way from Kakamega, came into the hospital. She said everything that happened to her, then she died. If I tell you today, nothing has ever been done about that case, would you believe me?
Yes, I'd believe you. That's the funny thing about this country.
Nothing. Cynthia was poor. She was so poor, her parents couldn't afford to bury her. I had to come to well-wishers to bury Cynthia. Somebody I didn't even know. I have buried so many people in this country, people I don't know, because the circumstances of their death means that even the parents don't. Mama yake alikuwa na mimi naanzia wapi? Hata sijui. So we had to take her body to the mortuary, make sure it's taken care of, look for money, hire. Unaona?
So this case was reported. So the police wako na jina huyu mtu wa military.
Hakuna kitu hawajui. Kila kitu tulireport. Yeah. But nothing has ever happened. He went on with his life and Cynthia is dead. And so many such cases we have in this country. So many people die and nothing is ever reported. Now that's femicide. You know, and nothing is ever reported. Niko na kesi ya mtu aliuliwa hapo hivyo kwetu. Again, Kayole. My office is in Soweto in Kayole. So a lot of those cases around there I'm aware of. Naitwa NJERI wa Migwi, she was 10. She was playing outside, neighbor akamuita, wakamrape 2 men, 2 brothers wenye ploti. Madhake alijuaje? Aliona, unaona vile tukiingia, sasa nikiingia hapa nimetoa viatu. Aliona nini? Hizi viatu za mtoi, Crocs. So wakapiga. Mwana sinde juu amekuwa akimtafuta juu mtu ali disappear 11. Now it's 4. Walipata mwili ya mtoi chini ya kitanda. Tell me why polisi walishika hao majamaa. Ikasemekana mjamaa mmoja alihepa na ule mjamaa tulipata mwesikia ni mwenye mtoi ni wote wenye ploti. Hao ni majamaa 33 and 36. Mtoi nimekwambia ni 10 years. Huyo jamaa mwingine polisi wakasema amechizi akapelekwa Mathare. NJERI wa Migwi has never gotten justice. Tuko kotini na hiyo kesi. It's been 3 years na hiyo kesi jaianza.
Na the other one, who is he?
Si moja alihepa.
Alafu
na please note walikuja wakachukuliwa na makarao.
Alafu Nini, there's something I'm going to bring up angle. This happened how many years ago?
3
years ago. There's something I normally talk about, positive ethnicity, yes? And I say the way we look at Kenya and all we see is negative ethnicity. US kuna kuwaga na hii rule moja ile, because of the racism in America, inakuwaga hurt everyone but not white women.
Yes.
She notice?
Yes.
That's why even walianzisha the Amber Alert ama Amber Alert. Ilikuwa a white girl went missing. They did everything to get this white girl. Yes. Kenya, I always look at ethnicity yetu and I'm like, unajua inafaa kufika level where we are like Kikuyus and Kalenjins are not affected by these problems. You know why? Because their people are in power.
Yes.
But it never reaches that level and people never see it. Like we go through the same shit, all of us. Because inafaa kuwa level, uko pahali uko like, nikiguza hii tribe, they are going to investigate this thing to the letter. But no one, as in the country is so lawless that no one is safe. But still, tumekam tukadanganywa that some people are safer than others.
I wish we would look at this that way, the same way umesema. None of us is safe. None of us is safe. Cases zinatoka Baringo. In fact, if you look at Baringo, the level of literacy, hakuna hosi.
Yes.
Hakuna anything. Kwanza uko kesi za GBV ni noma. Unaona? Kwanza watoi msichana kishafika 12 years married off. Na huko ndio power imetoka.
24 years.
24 years power imekaa huko. Another 2 years. Their cases are bad. I get so many defilement cases. I'm in court currently with the KTD, with the director for Tergat and Captet Tea Factory. Sijui kwa ulionangayo.
Tulicheki kwa...
In fact, nilitoka Kericho juzi. I took him to court. Do you know when you listen to those women, your heart breaks? Because, you know, we met the survivors. Right? He could rape you at the tea bushes.
Pakali, she even infected some with HIV, the women who ended
allegedly, because the matter is in the HIV tribunal, so I can't even speak about it.
Okay.
But can you imagine? So many, some even have children. And I was looking at him in court. He looks like a fairly decent man. He had 400 women under his charge, knowing these women are poor and vulnerable. And he took advantage of them. No kikata unafutwa job. Meshika. What are we looking at?
And that's, I think that's the other thing, ile watu with their self-righteousness, watu wajuagi, that for some of these women, they need that job so badly because it means even food in the evening, that they'll end up doing this. But even when they are doing it, bado ni the R word, because they are not doing it because they want, they are doing it because they have to do it. That means they are being forced to do it, but this time not through gun but through financial intimidation and such. But
kuna point amesema na now maybe it's not violence tukiangalia before, but it's, you know, preying on innocence. Ukiangalia hizi maocha unapata a lot of girls wanamariwa after nini primary,
That's
because of
that's abuse
poverty,
of power and poverty. You know, when a country directly, we don't look at it that way because we don't see it. Also look at the normalization of how watoi wametoka shule and watu wako na audacity hata ya kuiongelelea Twitter. Mwana udem vitu sijui nini. Have you ever seen that language? We see it and it doesn't shock us. Also OCHA the same. Unaona mtoi anaona ataipaje poverty.
Yes.
Sini kuelewa. Umeanza kuona. But that's abuse of power. Jumonye amemuoa si equivalent yake. It's not a 13-year-old marrying a 13-year-old. It's not a 15-year-old marrying a 15-year-old. Unapata ni mtu mzima. Na anacheki anaona huyu ni mtoi. Na bado go ahead anammarry. Alafu after some time, because a teenager is a teenager, still a child growing, anaanza kuchoka na yeye kwa sababu huyu si ni mtoi bado. Unaona reasoning yake ni ya mtoi. Just because you've wifed me at 15 doesn't make me a wife. I'm still a child who's still in need of growth. Unaanza kuangalia hizo ndio marriage zinakuanga sana na violence. Juu namchapa kumwambia si mtoto, uko na mtoto, wewe si mtoto, umeshika. Most of them, and we also see this in the urban, urban settlements.
Yes.
What we so called informal slums. Unaona, pia ufanya the same. Mtu yana hepa, mtu yana kosa pads. Anaenda anapatana na mtu wa motorbike. Si yako na do, anamshonda kubayanga pads, usijali kidogo ana move in. Wana move in, 2 years later mtoi yako na watu wawili, amemtandika, hamtaki, she has no education, she has nowhere to go. Where do you want all these people to go? Unaona, things that we don't look at or see that. Right?
Because vile umesema juu ya mtu hivyo imenikumbusha, it's something I normally quote ya states inakuwaga ni 18 to party, 21 to drink. And the argument is the human brain is still developing till age 21. Actually
to age 25 is when the human prefrontal cortex stops growing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So ile time
clubs zingine uko na samani 25.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's an adult now. That's somebody with a fully grown brain. But we don't see that.
Tunatumia hizo nini. Alafu another thing pia tuko tuna have this conversation here. Sijui niko nakumbuka ile time nikisema one of the things that happens with a lot of us is even when we have kids, we worry so much about our daughters and we forget that even our young sons can be victims of sexual violence.
Yes.
Najua, we always worry because tuko rada sana na watu wetu like daughters. I have a daughter and I'm always very
as you should.
Yes. Na niko na nikienjoy nikiwaambia nyinyi mko na sons and you should be as worried as me because sexual predators don't care about gender, do they?
They don't. Let me tell you, the cases of sodomy are on the rise. Because mmeficha wasichana, who is the nearest thing? Sini wavulana. And we have so many cases of sodomy, I promise you. Come to office, utaona. I can show you reports that I'm sent every day. You will see a sodomy case against a boy. Because mnaambia wasichana waende mnasahau wavulana. The other thing that you also need to recognize about boys is that I was doing something with men and asked them, what was your first sexual encounter? Most, especially urban men, most of them was with their housemate. They were raised with housemates and most of them had sex with them. And most of them didn't see the problem.
Yes.
Because I saw the problem. I was like, we have a problem. Did you know somebody preyed on you, on your innocence, on your youngness? And most of them couldn't compound that they were actually lured into a sexual relationship with an adult. Right? Think about it.
Yeah.
Hey. And I'm like, that is wrong. And most of them were like, no, but I was a teenager. But you didn't consent. You're a child. You see, we don't look at all those things and see them for what they are. You had sex with your elder cousin. Why? When ni mtoi, when ni teenager, when ni mtoto mdogo, even if you're a boy. And that is something that nobody wants to talk about. Nobody wants to tackle.
I think it's RAPCHA pia alitupatia hiyo story like there's this boy who ended up with like a very bad venereal disease because of mboch.
Mimi nilikuwa nakuchapia.
Wewe unachapia hiyo?
And that is true.
The house help.
That is true.
Syphilis,
So we need to be very careful around our children. But we can't do this because in Kenya, we are very hypocritical about sex. right? We don't talk about sex. Izo ni vitu. In fact, mushino tulifikaje 50 million na hii country sisi photocopy watoto. Unajua, because we are so hypocritical about issues of sex. We don't talk to children. So children don't know even how to know advances, a predator. Most of the times, 95% of the time, children are predated upon by people they know. Do you know that? It's not strangers. Very unlikely to be a stranger. Mtu yeta trust stranger.
Yes.
But mtu yeta trust family friend. Mtu yeta trust mwalimu. Mtu yeta trust pastor. And these are the people who are against the children getting sexual education. Na nyinyi kama wazazi pia mtaki kuongelesha watoi. Unaona, mnasema it's a duty of the school. The school says it's a duty of the parents. When we talk about we want comprehensive sexual education to be taught in schools, sisi mnatuambia ni activists tunataka pesa ya dona. The truth is, if we don't teach children, and comprehensive sexual education is not pornography. I need people to know teaching a child about sex is not teaching a child about pornography. We have a song we teach children. Uko kwa ghetto. If you touch my private parts, I will tell. A very simple song. If you touch my private parts, I will tell. If you touch my private parts, you know, I will tell it to my mommy. I will tell it to my father. If you touch something as simple as that. Anza kufundisha mtu ya miaka 3. Kama unaosha mtu mwambie, hapa kuna mtu anafaa kuguze. Hata nani ama nani. Hata daddy. Because guess what? 46% of cases against children are their fathers. The other 47% are their stepfathers. So we need to start teaching our children and creating that awareness. Unaona? Haya, kama ni kijana, mwambie kuna mtu anafaa kuguze. Unaona, bebe kama mzazi. Hata mimi, umefika place unaweza jiosha. Nafaa nisimame hapo niko supervise. Umeanza kushika. So we need to be very, very aware. And I'm not saying this to make parents fear. I'm saying this because people call me, "Hi, NJERI, I never thought I would call you." Unaona, Mimi, I have been supporting your cause, but I never thought it would come to my door because somehow we associate sexual violence with the vulnerable in the society. Sexual violence happens to any one of us.
Yeah.
From the children who are very vulnerable, who rely on adults. And I feel like Kenyans don't respect children. We don't. We get children, but we don't love them enough to empower them to know things like those. And I need us to be aware, parents. And us to be aware. Saisi zile, nasema saisi zile siku za kitambo. Juu sahi ukiongea na watu, mtu anakuambia I was raped as a child. But no one believed me. I couldn't tell anyone. I was threatened. And people are grappling with the effects of sexual violence at a very young age. We need to break these cycles.
Because vile umesema hivyo, the fact that it affects all people hata ijalishi social class. I mean, remind says like one of the stories limekuwa kitrend states ni the Menendez brothers. I don't know if you followed up on it.
Eric and Lyle. Muanga nasema the cases I have are so many. Mimi by the way wacha nikwambie, unaona when like hata ile case ya Pellicot ile iko France, I read it very briefly and I was like, imagine I'm not shocked. The thing is, I don't even want to traumatize myself further, but I do know that they were sexually abused by their parents, by their dad, right? To the point where they killed him.
And they were very rich kids.
Yeah.
So it's not a social class thing.
It's not a social class issue. Ata you Pellicot, who do you think? For a 60-year-old woman, for 10 years, unalala. Bwana yako anakuwekea dawa unalala. Alafu anaita watu wanakurip.
Yeah, Pellicot sijui.
Wait, okay. There's a case happening in France. There's this woman. This woman is 17 now. Her husband is, I think she's 72 and her husband is 70. For the last 10 years, her husband was dragging her. Wakienda kulala. Anampikia kachai, hair baby, kunywa. Baby anakunywa chai analala. When she was asleep, he would call men to come and rape his wife.
Alafu ana record ama what would happen?
That's how the wife found out. Aliingia kwa computer hazi anaona recording zake akirepiwa. Can you imagine? You're 70. You're finding out your husband has been letting men come to your house to gang rape you. Nasi men wambali. They formed a group. All the 52 men are in court. Yes, looking, and these are men. Mwingine ni neighbor. Within a 50 kilometers radius of where they lived in France, this man would come and rape this woman. Nilikuwa naangalia ingine jana, mtu alikuwa anasema the husband helped him to now know how to drug his wife so that the same could be done to his wife. And I was like, most of these men are married. They're elderly men. I mean, they're men between the ages of 30 all the way to 80. And I was like, what the hell? Why would you? And this woman thought she was losing her mind because every time she would wake up, she'd feel something is wrong, but she didn't know. And you're also growing in age, so nafikiria maybe I'm becoming senile. But this woman has literally been raped for over 10 years by the person she trusted the most, her husband. It's crazy.
Na hakuwa na nini, like, hakuwa najua.
She was unconscious.
Yes. I'm like, hakuwa najua the husband had like such dark secrets.
No.
You can never know
Mpaka
someone. So I think,
alimuuliza, I loved you. I've spent all my life with you. This is a grandmother. And you know what? The worst part, we're in court also. Something similar, but this time is a son to the mother. Raka mingi jioni wanapiga story. Anampikia chai madhe 67 man. Then anamrape.
a son.
Unconscious. Yes.
Hapa Kenya.
Yes. We are in court with that case. Hapa Kenya, hapa. And this woman was like, am I losing my mind? Do you know who told her? Mtoi wa huo son. Alimwambia shushu. Sindio. Alikuwa amekuja kuvisit. Alimwambia shushu, dadi akikupatia chai ile ya jioni, unalalanga. Unalala sana. Alafu dadi anakupeleka bedroom. Unaona? This woman was like, no, I can't, this my son. No. So this one time, she didn't take the tea.
Or she pretended?
She pretended she's taken the tea. And she found the man. And I'm telling you, when she came and told us, I was looking at her like, what are you saying? Uzuri, she had not showered. She remembered, do not shower. So we were able to take her to hospital.
So
the semen was extracted.
She pretended?
Yes.
Wow.
So how do you get your help? Because ulikuwa unasema like some things you are immune. Police get immune. But pia also exposing yourself to so many cases like that. You when you say about Menendez brothers did not shock you. Do you also get help? Because mimi nimekaa hapa like I don't know how many this story mnatupatia ni chilling.
Yes. I think.
And let me show you something so that you can understand how bad it is. This is our office. This is our office. What is it called? Our office call center. Sindio? Na office ina report. So kila siku I get reports. No.
So ukitafuta hiyo nini, this son right now he's in jail at least.
Yes, he's in jail.
Okay. Wabi?
So this is Friday.
Committee. Okay.
This is Friday 25th, right? So they will tell me we handled 4 emotional abuse cases, 2 domestic violence cases, 1 rape case, 1 case of attempted murder, and 1 mental health. Haya, hiyo ni Friday. Hii ni Thursday 24th. Psychosocial. We handled 3 domestic violence cases, 2 mental health sessions, 3 emotional abuse, 1 missing child, 2 murder cases, 1 case of self-harm and 1 case of attempted suicide. Hiyo ni Thursday last week. Umeona? So every day I receive. Hizi sasa hata hizi report. Hizi tu ni zile casually. Haya, hii ni Wednesday 24th. We handled 2 emotional abuse, 1 case of defilement and murder. Defilement and?
Murder.
So mtu yali defailiwa na akauliwa. 1 attempted murder and rape. A case of attempted suicide. Umeweza kuona?
Yes.
So every day, this is Tuesday. I'm just showing you a week, Sikimie. 4 emotional abuse cases, 3 domestic violence cases, 1 murder case. What have you realized as I'm reading these things? Have you seen how much murder is there?
Murder every day. 1
murder case, 3 livelihood cases, 1 missing child, 1 negligence, 2 rape cases, 1 mental health session. Tuendelee tu. Ini Monday, sasa they will of course send me the pictures.
So on average, 1 murder a day?
Yes.
Two rape a day,
Yes.
like it's and one attempted murder a day. So murder na attempted ni kama one kila
Sasa.
siku.
And these are the people who are able to reach out.
Yes. So every day they send
Dead-
me.
dead
So when I'm
mental
talking to
hotels.
you about these things, I'm talking to you about actual things that happen. And unaona, wanatuma picha, wanatuma case files. So I get to see these things.
Paul na take back to this very disturbing case ya son and mother. Which neighborhood was this?
Huko kwetu Soweto.
Oh.
But I had a case. Tumemaliza hiyo case sahi last year. Ya Kirinyaga. Same.
Son, mother.
45-year-olds. The mom is senile. The mom was 90. Umama when she's clear alikuwa nakaswa msichana, nakaswa kijana, anasema nani anakujanga usiku ananifanyia vitu mbaya. But you see, because she's senile, nobody took her seriously. But this is her house. Opposite is the house of the kijana. I remember going all the way there. The person who actually called this anaishi maju. Alikuja kasikiza auntie yake zile vitu anasema. And she was like, no, she wasn't comfortable. Akasema hapana. So she employed her. Yeye, huyu ni auntie yake. Akaemploy mtu angaliange. Shosho. I mean her aunt. So this is the person who was able to testify that it is true. Ule kijana anakujanga. He's not even married. He's 45 years at the time we went to court. And alichajiwa 30 years. And he would jump into his house and rape the mom. Si alikuwa najua kuna mtu atajajua.
I think nini vile umesema hivyo imenikumbusha one of the things ile mi nishambwaga ati na simp. And the reason why I'm told I'm simping is because I always say the world is much harsher to women than it is to men.
Yes,
na musemaga hivi it's much harsher. Yes, do we go through stuff? Are we judged because of our financial muscle? Blah, blah, blah. Yes, that happens to us. But there are things we never worry about as much as women. Cheki. So mupatianaga the example of a study that was done in the US about blind dates. The study ilikuwaga like every time a man goes on a blind date, we worry more about if the girl is going to like us, number one. And number two, if she's going to sleep with us at some point. But dem akiendaga on a blind date, ye worry juu ya kudedishwa.
Yes.
Kukidnapiwa, rape, unaunderstand? Hizo vitu zote. So nasema, yes, do we go through this stuff? But we never...
Our fears are different.
Our fears are different. Saizi ukisikia juu ya mothers are not even safe next to their sons. Alafu sasa wewe umeenda some masculinity coach akakuteach you're a victim. Buddha jo, let's be serious.
We have a problem. Kwanza hiyo masculinity coaches. I'm always like, why is there when men need help for domestic violence or for rape? Do you know where they come?
To women, no?
To us. They come to us because there's no safe space that men have established for themselves. Right? And even when I post those cases, because once in a while I'll post, kama last week I posted the case of a blind man who was being beaten by his wife. Do you know? Most men were denying. And I was like, man, this man is blind.
Yes. Okay.
Amechapwa na wife. Juu sahi, he wasn't blind all along, but he lost his sight in 2022 completely. He had a degenerative disease that was causing him to become blind. So in 2022, he lost his sight completely. But he's been trying. He's a baba. But his tool, ikavunjika. Ili ya kunyoa. So he didn't have the money to replace it. We actually got it for him and paid for his business. Unaona? Na unajua vile nilimuuliza, mimi nilimwambia I want to take your wife to jail. Do you know what the man told me? Ukimpeleka jela, nani itakuwa kiangalia watoto? Njeri, mimi sina capacity. And when I wrote that, because sometimes I'm being honest, people were like, oh, wewe Njeri, utaki kumpeleka jela because she's a woman. And I'm like, watoto juu wako na watoto 4, watenda wapi? Right now, Kenya doesn't want the CCI system. That's Charitable Children Institution. It's about inaisha. In the next 3 years, all orphanages, all children homes, the government wants them closed.
Yeah. Okay.
So, huyu mtu na watoto wake 4 watenda wapi?
Kwani government akazifungwe? Pole, if I digress.
Hizi mabills mnaona zikipasiwa parliament, that was one of them. That tunafaa turudishe watoto kwa relatives.
Yeah, I know that nonsense.
But vile umesema like GBV, most cases zinaanzanga na wale watu wanajua. Na umesema 46% fathers na nini. So wanataka kuwarudisha tu to the same predators.
Sasa wawarudisha ti kwa maanko, kwa maanti, ati utakuwa ukilipwa na gava 2,000 uangalie mtoto. Wewe unajua, and we know this. Saa zingine tunaendanga mazishi, tunazika parents, watu wanabaki orphans. Hawa watoi maisha inakuanga the same.
No.
Watu wanachukuanga, kwanza in fact watu wanaanzanga kugawa watoto saa ya mazishi. Mimi ndachukua Ken na Mary. Ken anawezaenda kwa shamba, Mary anaweza kuwa mboch. Watoi wa sister zao. Those are the kids we are saying they need to be fostered by relatives. We already have a very high abuse, 30,000 reported cases last year. Do you know how crazy that is? Reported. Because majority of defilement cases are never reported.
Never reported, yes.
So every time we see reported, be very worried about the unreported. If 30,000 cases have been reported, it means maybe 200,000 cases were not reported. So, hao ndio watu tunataka kwenda tuwapeleke kwa wazazi. Tuwapeleke kwa relatives. Waende wakae nao. I'm very worried about the turns we're taking in this country. It's crazy. Because for me, CCIs, musema kama watoto 100 wako pali pamoja na mwezi kuja kuangalia ndo mjue kama wanakuwa abused, na watoto 100 wakiwa kwa 100 separate houses,
mtafanyaje?
What will happen? We have a problem. So for me, somebody like that man who had a problem, aliniambia, so do you know what else we did as an organization? Tumejaribu tukamempower the man. We gave him his machine back. We bought him 2 new machines. We gave him, we paid rent for 6 months, at least as a kujijenga, as a man. But we took one additional step. Tukaenda tukathreaten wife. Umeshika. Tukamshota tukamwambie, umse, just because he's become blind, usidhani ana watu. Ako na watu. Ukijamguza tena, tunakukujia na this time tuna make sure umefu. Sometimes those are the cases. And that's how you have to deal with them. Juu nikimfungisha watoto wanaenda. How is Aizo going to take care of his kids? So nilithreaten, tulienda na polisi. Tukamwongelesha. Now she's coming. She's not even from Soweto. She's from somewhere else. She'll be coming to the office every week to report.
If she's done anything.
If anything has happened. And we'll be in touch with the man. Because sometimes you have to do what you have to do. And sometimes what you have to do cannot be a court case.
There's another thing that I normally say, but mubonga from a point of ignorance. But it's just one of those things where I think this is how it happens. I normally say that threats in a marriage are not normal.
No,
so this is how musemaga, that if someone keeps threatening, we siku moja nitakugonga, we siku moja nitakunini, that to me is a red flag. Na
premeditated.
But wewe ushadil na hizi cases, because this is how I muiangaliaga. Napatianaga story that in my adult life, and I've been an adult right now for over 25 years, yes? I've never threatened another adult with violence. And not just women, even men. So with that in mind, I'm always like, if I'm living with you, and I've never, saizi nimekuwa married for 10 years, sijai threaten wife na violence. So msemaga like, just that threat shows that you can do it. Does that make sense, Ama?
Yes. And the thing with me is I go back to cases because this is real life. We had a case. This case was in somewhere near Kandara. This woman, and I want you to know how far she went. Her husband used to threaten he'll kill her. And this woman moved. They were well off. He worked for Kenya's tax collection agency. He had the money, the means, and the motivation. She was just a nurse. Alihama na akabeba watoto wake. Akatoka Nairobi, nyumba wamejenga. Akaenda uko Kandara. Uko hata ni wapi? Uko ndio alienda kutafuta job kama nurse. Akaanza kuishi. Kumbuka this man has been threatening her with death akimwacha. Alimfuata siku moja. Akajua kule yuko. Alienda kazima stima kwa main. Alimkatakata. Alimstab 11 times. 11 times. Akamua, akamada. Hiyo kesi tuko nayo kotini.
But at least is he in jail in the meantime?
No, he has the money to be out on bond. And let me tell you the worst part, because the man had money. when we went to Ruiru Police, where he had been, let me not mention the police station, ignore that.
Yes.
When he was taken to the police, when we went there, the man wasn't in the cell. Alikuwa hapo hivyo nje akikunywa soda na makarao. It was so bad. Mi nilipiga picha nikatumia polisi. Nikauliza, how are we going to get justice? Kama umsee, ako hapo nje na he's dining with the police. Na aliua wife jana usiku.
How many kids do they have?
3.
And the kids now are...
I hope you know that. No. No. Walichukuliwa na mother wife. I hope you know that he killed her in front of the kids. In fact, the big baby, she was 9 or so, alikimbia kwenda kuita neighbor. Daddy anaua mami. I don't know whether people really think about the things we let children consume. Because can you imagine how bad that was? And I was looking at my previous story, my DMs, when they DM'd me about her death. And I found this woman had actually DM'd us. And we had helped her get a restraining order from her husband. But a restraining order did not save her.
Yeah.
Right? And so we have so many of these cases.
Alafu I think hii attitude, kidigress kidogo, hii attitude ndio suipelekaga majuu, and then vitu kama what happened to Dida happened. Because Dida's pia ilikuwa, he was charged with stalking.
Can you imagine?
Because a restraining order to you is not enough.
Yes.
And another thing ile pia musemaga na nini inakuaga historia, you can't use the excuse of miukasirika. I think the miukasirika argument is used because of lack of consequences. When you know there are consequences, so this is my example waga hivi. Right now nikienda nikosane na bouncer mkubwa kabisa. Hata nikasirisha aje, I won't use violence.
Si utatembea?
Nitatembea. You know why?
Utenda tu ukimata, ukicomplain, ukimambola na your breath.
Hata sta mambol karibu na yeye. Tena kumambol uko mbali. Because there's consequences. The minute that if it's someone you can beat and now you can't control your anger, it just shows the consequences. It's not about
anger. It's about the fact that you have power over.
Yeah.
Right? Because musema kama nimekasirika sana na umenikasirisha, si can take a walk. Nienda nipige block 2 nirudi kaa hasira imeisha. Silent tumanza kuona saa ingine utasikia watu wakisema, haujui wife alimwambia nini? Wewe do hivi. Juu ndio uko na power ya kuana, tembea. Rudini mwagiusa ile ama muongeza ile, tempers zimeshuka. Unashika, tempers zimeshuka. Na ukisikia kitu haiwork, tembea. Walk away. Walk away. Like walk away. Unaona? And I regret for myself that I didn't walk away soon enough. Right? I regret. I should have walked away. Because now when I speak to my kids and they're like, you know what? We hated what was happening to you. Tulikuwa tunadhani utajauliwa. Right?
How old were your kids each time? Like when you're going through all this, how old was the oldest?
My smallest was 5.
Okay.
Do you remember the story where I told you I met this person when I was 15?
Yeah.
I got pregnant at 15.
Oh, okay. Okay. How old was he?
16.
Yeah, mwenyewe. Okay.
No, him. He was 21. But for me, I got pregnant at 15. Which means by the time I was leaving this marriage, I had a 15-year-old and a 5-year-old.
Oh, because now you're 30.
Yeah. I want you to imagine, hata saa ile watu wanakuanga wakiongea hivyo, I have a very big son. Right? I have a very big son who sees.
So right now your son is how old?
Oh, Duran is he's 26.
Oh, okay.
He's 26 now. Just finished university.
Yeah. Damn. And this, of course...
Tumegrow na yeye, as in we've grown up together. In fact, yeye usema, I've grown up with my mom. Hata kuna mtuuliza. We've grown up together. I've made my mistakes with him. Anajua nga ile wo nimeonwa. He knows how I see. He sees some of the things people tell me on Twitter. Baki uniuliza ananiambia, man, do you really need to do this? And I'm like, imagine I have to advocate, just don't come to my tweets. And I don't want you to fight for me. Just because somebody has taken my picture and, trolled me with it. Don't worry. Yeah. My daughter is now 16.
Yeah, the one who was 5 years old.
Yeah.
Okay, where? But your story ya anger, I think to may demystify, and we always say that like if there are
Walk
consequences.
away.
Yes.
We don't need to do this. And if the marriage is not working, just walk. Whether you're a man or a woman, because we can't be burying people. You know, there's somebody who said, I think it was Miles Monroe, he said, the graveyard is a place that is full of people who died with untapped potential. And untapped potential because you married someone and now you're dead. You killed somebody.
Because whether a man or woman, I always give the example of, to me, the face of now female to male violence waga udem wa
Maxine.
I don't know, but udem alikuwa sijui Miss Langata, the one who stabbed that boy.
Yes.
Alimdunga maraka 21 alafu watu walikuwa na hapo ni msupu ni like this is a very ugly person in quotes, because utafanyaje mtu hivyo? Because pia kutakuwaga na wale madem hawako ready kuachwa. Don't know if
that one is there. That one is there. That's crazy. And that's crazy. And I tell people, mtu akikuacha tembea. Because you do not also want to go through the consequences of something like that. Because mbona tuachiki? Mbona utaki kuachwa? Mtu amekureject. Mbona una insist? Wacha, tembea.